Hello everyone, my name is Wendy. Today I'm going to be sharing part of my testimony, which will help back up my claim of being the woman that Clement prophesied about in 2011. The woman with the Queen Esther Anointing. The woman who would rise in the middle of the restoration of America. If you have not seen my video entitled, "Will the real Queen Esther please stand up?" then please do so. In recent weeks, it has been brought to my attention that there has been quite a stir within the prophetic community as God raises up new prophets outside of the established church. This has caused some established leaders within the prophetic community to voice their opinion that a vetting system should be in place. One of those qualifiers is having a proven track record of giving accurate prophecy. One of my earliest prophecies, which has come true, is Donald Trump becoming president. You see, I've known that Donald Trump was going to become president someday since the 80s. And how did I know? God told me. One day, while I was still in grade school, I came home and watched the interview that Oprah gave Donald Trump. I really liked him. And when she asked him if he was going to run for president, I thought that he should. But he declined. It was then that God told me that Donald would run for president someday, and he would win. After that, I watched him very closely. I observed his triumphs and failures, and I wasn't always happy with his life choices. But I knew that God said he would be president someday, and so I eagerly awaited for him to make the announcement. When he finally did, I was his biggest fan. I attended one of his first rallies, the one at the fairgrounds in Little Rock, Arkansas. While sitting with my ex-husband, I cheered and screamed for him in the upper stands. After his speech, nearly everyone else left, but I felt compelled to go down into the pit, the area before the stage, and mingle amongst the people who had gathered there. A short time later, Donald came out and started signing books and hats. There was a barrier that separated him from the crowd. Because I didn't have any merchandise with me, my ex-husband and I stood about 15 to 20 feet away from the barrier. As Donald made his way walking on the other side of it, signing books, my ex-husband and I were talking about his height. I said, "He's supposed to be 6'3". I don't know. I don't think he looks like he's 6'3". As I was having this conversation with my ex-husband, suddenly Donald and I made eye contact between all the shoulders and heads of other people, and he stopped dead in his tracks. He looked at me with an expression of curiosity and suspicion. As our eyes were locked on one another, I continued my conversation with my ex-husband about his height. His stare lasted so long that I began to wonder, why is he staring at me? Why is he looking at me with suspicion? I'm not a threat. I'm his biggest fan. Our eye lock lasted so long that I became uncomfortable and decided to break it by turning to my ex-husband and talking directly to him. When I glanced back at Donald, he had moved on and was signing books again. I know that Donald is a very busy man and has lots of things on his mind. He probably doesn't remember this incident at all, but for me, the memory is still fresh. I have a confession. Up until Donald Trump ran for president, I had never voted for anyone. However, once he announced that he was running for president, I made plans to make him my first vote. On election day, I couldn't wait to go down and make my vote. However, for some reason, I was rejected, and so I didn't get to vote for Donald like I wanted to. During his first few years, I remained a strong supporter of Donald Trump. However, as re-election drew close, I began to draw away from him. Around this time, my brother was having his wedding. He had prepared years for this, and yet it was all foiled because of the shutdown. My mom, sister, and brother-in-law were at my house, and we watched the wedding online. I told them that my views of Donald Trump have changed. I knew that he was going to betray the trust of the people, which he did when he didn't put trust in God, rather trusted in mankind to solve the pandemic problem. Although I was disappointed that Donald did not win re-election, I wasn't surprised. I am happy that Donald Trump has put more of an emphasis on God this time around. He has even endorsed a King James version of the Bible, the God Bless America Bible, which includes the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, and the Pledge of Allegiance. Over the years, I've had many dreams with Donald Trump, as being part of his entourage, his inner circle, his family. In one dream, I was with his family at Trump Tower. Donald was very angry and throwing a fit. His family members were so frightened by his rage that they hid behind furniture. I was hiding behind the table with Don Jr. Then Melania came up to me and she said, "Wendy, go talk to Donald. He'll listen to you." And that was the end of the dream. Now you must understand that my dreams over-exaggerate things to help make a point. I didn't understand the meaning of this dream for a long time, but now it's starting to make sense. Now that we are at the official middle of the presidency, the middle of the restoration period that Kim Clement prophesied about, it's time for the woman with the Queen Esther Anointing to rise up. And that woman is me. The dream was preparing me to give Donald counsel whenever he needs me. At the first of the year, I intend to start my new job assignment from God, which is to pour out the oil of healing upon this nation. I will begin in Florida. Why? Because to truly heal this nation, we have to go way back to when the conquistadors first landed on this continent, and the Old World began the conquest of the New World. With President Trump's permission, I would like to pour out the oil of healing at the gates of Mar-a-Lago. But if he would like to open the gates for me, of course I would be thrilled to talk to him privately. Why? Because I predict that if Donald Trump truly wants to restore America and make it great again, he's going to need my advice. Not because I'm perfect. However, through my imperfections, I have gained great wisdom. I hope that you've enjoyed this part of my testimony. In the next video, I'm going to discuss my calling and how I've known about it since I was a child. And what I'm going to disclose will shock you. You'll be scratching your head thinking, did she just say what I think she said? So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so that you don't miss it. Also, like, share, and comment on this video to help get the word out. Because I'm not independently wealthy, your financial support is appreciated. There are options in the description box below. In an effort to help grow this channel, I am doing a book giveaway. I'm giving away 10 signed copies of my book, God's Master Plan for the Masses. If you would like a chance to win, the rules are very simple. Make a short video where you say, "I said yes to Esther." Then put a link to your video in the comment section of "Will the real Queen Esther please stand up?" Every time that I prepare to make a new video, I will open "Will the real Queen Esther please stand up?" and look at the newest comments. The first comment that I find that has a link to a short where someone says, "I said yes to Esther," and has a link to my video in their description, then they will win a free autographed copy of my book. I only have 10 copies to give away, which will make these signed copies very valuable someday. Of course, you can always buy a copy. There's a link in the description box below. Again, thank you for all your love and support. My name is Wendy, and we're all living in the winds of change.